Hi friends, today I am here with yet another topic, respiration in fish. Now, coming to respiration, what actually is respiration? So you might be familiar with this process because it is a basic process which happens in all living organisms. So respiration could be defined as a biochemical process which is common to all the organisms in which the cell of an organism obtain energy. So how do these cells obtain energy? So it is like the cells would get the oxygen, and the oxygen would be combining with glucose to produce carbon dioxide and thereby release energy. So energy would be released in the form of ATP. So here oxygen is going to combine with the glucose, and this would lead to the liberation of carbon dioxide, which is a toxic gas, and that has to be liberated by the body to the outside along with the liberation of energy. So, have you ever imagined why respiration is so important? Just to cite an example, I would say, see, suppose you are being deprived of food. Do you think you would live? Yes, of course. If you are not being provided with with the food, you would be able to live for a few weeks or maybe for months. But then, what about if you are deprived of oxygen? Do you think you would be able to live? No. So this is a basic process that would make the organisms live in the environment. So this respiration would be carried out by what is known as a respiratory system. Now, coming to respiratory system, what actually is a respiratory system? It's actually a biological system which consists of various respiratory organs. Okay, so the respiratory organs, as you know, in case of humans, the respiratory organs, you are very much familiar with the respiratory organs, but what about the case of fish? The major respiratory organ in fish would be the gills. You know, the gills that is situated on either side of the head, and that would be covered by operculum in case of teleos, whereas in case of constrictors, or what is known as a cartilaginous fish, these gills are not covered by operculum, but then they have got what are known as the gill slits. Okay, so this particular respiratory system, it helps in breathing, or what is known as external respiration. Now, coming to external respiration, see, actually the respiration consists of is comprised of two types. One would be the external respiration, and the other would be the internal respiration. So external respiration is wherein you get the oxygen from the environment, and the internal respiration is one wherein you have the gases being exchanged within the cell. Okay, so the cells would get the oxygen that is taken through the external respiration, and that is being or that is getting diffused across the cells. Okay, so in most fishes, as I said, the respiration would occur through gills. Okay, so that is a major phenomenon that or major organ that would help the fish in respiring. That would be the gills, and the gills, as I said, it is covered by the operculum, and that is situated on both sides of the head. That is in the case of teleos, whereas in case of constrictors, as I said, the cartilaginous fish, these gill slits, they are present as these gills are represented as gill slits. 6 to 7 gill slits would be there, and see, that is a common case. Whereas apart from this, the fishes do have other respiratory organs, and those are known as the accessory respiratory organs. Okay, say for example, in case of the air breathing fishes, we call it as a bimodal respiration, wherein those fishes would be able to respire both the oxygen that is dissolved in water and also the atmospheric oxygen. So they do have specialized organs to facilitate the aerial respiration. But in major case, we have the fishes, they do have the gills, and that would aid the process of respiration, taking in the dissolved oxygen from the water. Okay, so here we are going to look into how the oxygen is getting diffused across the gills. The oxygen, in the sense that is a dissolved oxygen that is going to get diffused into the gills from the water. Okay, so the fish, as I said, the major respiratory organ would be the gills, and the water would be passing across the gills, and whereby the oxygen would be diffused from the water into the gills. Okay, so here the fishes would take in the oxygen, or would get the oxygen by a process what is known as the counter current flow mechanism. Okay, we would be discussing in detail in the coming slide. So now, what actually is a respiratory mechanism that would happen in fish? Okay, so you know the fish is in water, and we are going to talk about the respiratory process that would happen within water. To say, the fish is now going to take in the oxygen, the dissolved oxygen that is in water, and that would be through the gills. So what would happen? The fish, as you know, it is always in motion. right? So when the fish is in motion in water, what they would do is that they would just open their mouth. Okay, so they would open their mouth and the operculum would be closed. So what happens as a result of this? What would happen? There is an increase in the buccal cavity. Okay, so the mouth is opened and the operculum is closed, so the fish would get more volume inside the buccal cavity. So as a result, the water would flow in through the mouth. Okay, so the water is going to flow in through the mouth. It enters into the mouth, and this buccal and the opercular cavities, they just begin to reduce. Okay, and so as a result of this, what would happen? The water would pass over the gills, and that would be excreted out through the gills, right? So what would happen? There are the efferent branchial arteries, and these would be carrying the carbon dioxide rich blood from the heart to the gills. Okay, and after the blood reaches the gills, what would happen is the efferent branchial arteries that would open up into the dorsal aorta, and that would carry the oxygenated blood from the gills to the different parts of the body, right? So there is a mouth, the fish would be moving in through the water, the mouth is opened up, the operculum is closed. This would increase the buccal cavity volume, and as a result, the water would be taken in through the mouth, and then they would release out the water through this gills, that is through the operculum. So thereby the diffusion would happen across the gills, and the oxygen from the water would get into the gills. Okay, so at the same time, what would happen is the carbon dioxide from these blood that would be going out into the water. Okay. So as I said, the fish would take the oxygen-rich water in to the gills. So when this water passes over the gills, what would happen? The blood inside this capillary network of the gills, that would be taking up the dissolved oxygen. You know, I said the gills, they are placed on either side of the operculum, and these gills have got what are known as gill rakers. These are almost the cartilaginous structures, and that would vary depending upon the feeding habit of the fish. Okay, and these gill rakers are going to support the gill filaments, and they have got both the primary as well as the secondary lamellae, and this is a place where the oxygen is going to get diffused from the water to the gills, and in turn the carbon dioxide would diffuse out into the water. Okay, so the oxygen is getting transported to all over the body, and see, while picking up oxygen, the carbon dioxide is removed. As I said, the carbon dioxide, which is a toxic gas, that is getting removed from the body through the gills. So this is actually video which would show the movement of the water, just for you to understand. So as a fish moves, you know, the fish is opening its mouth. So the water would enter in through the mouth, and see, the water would get in into the mouth, and this would be forced over the operculum, and this would be moving across the gills, whereby the water would pass out through the gills, and see, over these gills there would be the exchange of oxygen, highly rich oxygenated water into the gill capillaries, and thereby the release of carbon dioxide from the gills into the water, and thereby it would be excreted out into the water. So earlier I had said about the countercurrent exchange system in fish. So this is a process wherein the oxygen is getting diffused across the gills. So, you know, diffusion is a process whereby the oxygen would enter from the water into the gills of the fish. So this is a particular mechanism that is being adopted by the fish to exchange or to diffuse the oxygen from the water into the gills, and this special process is known as the countercurrent flow exchange. And see here, what happens is that the blood would flow through the gills in the opposite direction as that of the water. Okay, so what would happen? There is a low oxygen blood, and that would be meeting the low oxygenated water. Okay, so there is a low oxygenated blood along with a low oxygenated water. So there is always the gradient that is being built across there. So what would happen? The oxygen from the water would be diffusing out into the gills. Okay, and as and when this would pass on, again the highly oxygenated blood would be meeting the highly oxygenated water. So this again would be creating a oxygen gradient, a diffusion gradient, and this will allow the movement of the oxygen from the highly oxygenated water into the gills of the fish. Okay, so thereby the efficiency of oxygen exchange would be increased in case of fish. So that is why these fish would or the fishes is adopting the process of countercurrent flow exchange system rather than the concurrent flow exchange. Okay, so this is the process by which the fishes would respire. So again, we would meet with yet another interesting topic. Thank you.